Hi guys, so I am here today to go through my drama folder. I'm so sorry that it's taken so long to do this, but there's just been so much to do. Thank you for all your feedback. Someone that DM'd me to say that they've seen a difference in their grade. 8 weeks ago she was getting B's and now in her most recent mock she got an A star. So I'm so glad that these have been useful. I appreciate the feedback and keep letting me know how you guys are doing. Keep updating me and telling me about your progress. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So again, as you can see, like I mentioned before, you have a spec that is pivotal. I open every folder with a spec, and I don't know why I have two here, but this one's highlighted and I must have just had an extra copy. So yeah, you can see again my alphabetical separator, so I know it's my drama folder because all my folders are black. And then again, this is how I would have answered a drama question in year 12, so this wouldn't have necessarily been relevant in year 13. And this is a band descriptor for drama specifically and what you'd need to get into each band. And then because both the plays I was doing were tragedy, so you really need to like thoroughly research the genre you're doing. So I introduced this folder with starting off with talking or doing an introductory section about tragedy, because both the plays are tragedy. One's a modern tragedy and one's a Shakespearean tragedy, so you really need to thoroughly research that. And this section would be full of stuff to do with Greek tragedy, with medieval tragedy, with Shakespearean tragedy, and with modern tragedy, just to acquaint yourself with the tragedy genre. That is so important. You have to know what genre you're doing. And yeah, again we have another alphabetical separator and it's streetcar, and in here we have journal articles. So if you know me by now, you know how much I've been talking about journal articles. You know how much I've been going on about how much they're necessary, like you need them. I don't believe you can do an English A-level, especially A2. I think you can get away with it at AS, but especially A2 you can't do it without your journal articles. So here are my journal articles and just stuff about streetcar that I genuinely read just to get my head around it, and stuff about Tennessee Williams, because in drama context does become very important. So I looked at stuff like that, but as you can see it's just a lot of highlighted journal articles. And if you want, this is for me, if you're doing streetcar, this was the best journal article I read, this stuff. And again, like I explained, they're not necessarily always going to be available. Like this isn't available in full, but me being me, I like screenshotted everything and like then made a little booklet for myself, and this booklet is just so good. Like this is very good, and it thoroughly goes through everything. It thoroughly goes through the characters, the symbols, and the play as a like dramatic text and its dramatic function. So that was very good. And again, yet more and more journal articles, and I hope you guys are seeing the importance of having journal articles, because literally watch my English hacks video to see how I then use these journal articles, because for me, I think they are the biggest part about why I got an A star, is from utilizing these articles. So you can see how many there are, and you can see like all of this. You can literally see this is like article after article after article, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But yeah, then we get into the play itself, and that is divided, and I believe streetcar is color coded purple and King Lear is color coded this like blue green color. I went on to Spark Notes, and this was in year 12, and decided to make like a mini revision booklet for myself about streetcar, which included all of these, so the context, the plot overview, and etc etc. So yeah, you may or may not want to go ahead and just acquaint yourself with like the basic understanding. In my English hacks video, I also talk about unconventional sources such as SparkNotes, etc., because your teachers sometimes will suggest like don't look at those things, but they can be helpful in getting you to get the basic understanding of everything. And that's why I did this, just to gauge a basic understanding of streetcar in year 12. And yeah, this is an analysis of the opening that I did in year 12. And then the next important thing with tragedy, I don't know what examples you're doing. As I've explained, I do Excel, and our AOs, our assessment of objectives, obviously context was a big one. So then I go into context, and context can include literary context again. So this is where you'll see a repetition of tragedy and what tragedy is, and tragedy key terms. You can see there the tragedy terminology and an introduction to tragedy, which I believe we got this booklet in class. So yeah, it's just photocopied with things about tragedy. And again, those are the terms defined and more terms to do with tragedy. So it's really important as an English student, you have to use the terminology, you have to speak like an English student, so you really need to acquaint yourself with the terminology. And again, watch my English hacks video to see what I have to say about terminology, because again, that's a very big reason as to why someone would get those top grades, those AA stars. This is just a small slide we had to do for homework, and I got the term catharsis, so I just looked at catharsis a bit in depth and looked at the ideas surrounding that. You've got your historical context, and you've got your context of production and context of reception, and the differentiation between the two is very important. I believe it is in the spec somewhere that students need to be able to talk about the context of production and the context of reception for Excel. So yeah, remember that you have kind of two different contexts, the social context, historical and cultural. And these I found these two things online and printed them out. And then again, like we had in prose, I had the little section for my characters, which are made up of the SparkNotes notes, and I just like made like character profiles for you guys to see an example. Like, it really is basic, and this is because obviously I did linear A-level, so I was being examined at the end of year 13, so it's just good to help you get a like refresher. Helps me to put like a face to a character, and just helps to make the text come alive, if that makes sense. So there's Blanche, here's Stanley, Stella, Mitch, Eunice. And yeah, and then again with tragedy, and especially with drama, you're looking at themes, motifs and symbols. It is a dramatic text and it has dramatic functions, and this is what these are. So you need to have a section for that, because that is what you're looking at. And again, what's inside here is mainly from SparkNotes again, because I said that I made like those little revision booklets. So this is themes, and again, these are all the themes then written out that we discussed in class. Like, these are all the themes, and this is a little thing I did of how they link to each other, motifs and symbols. And then again, because it is a play, you have the acts and scenes and important quotes. And then again, this is just all from SparkNotes for you to get a mental refresher when you come to do it again at the end of your A-level experience, because you have to learn how to use your time most efficiently, and you can't always just go back over everything from scratch. So it's good to just have these kind of summaries, and yeah, to just go over these important things. Now the other half of my folder, which is King Lear, and I'm actually shocked because where's the divider for this? There should be a divider, but it's probably somewhere within my actual revision that I did during exam season, because remember, these are just the folders for like classroom work, and these are the folders that I would have like built on from the start of year 13, so September to around, I don't know, April, May. So this is just like a classroom folder, or like I said that revision comes in processes, so this would have been like steps 1, 2 and 3 of the process. If you're confused about what I'm talking about, just go on my Straight A Stars video and look at the comments, because I told people that revision comes in processes, so this was literally not the revision. Again, journal articles, you know me by now, journal article after journal article after. Oh, this is a good one. Shout out to Makai McDermott, she is amazing. I'll link her video down below for this, because she suggested this, so I went with it and actually spoke about it in my A-level exam, and it was so helpful, it was so good, guys. And again, journal articles. This is from the York Notes book, and I actually have a physical copy of the York Notes book, and that was so good, guys. These York Notes books, I don't know why teachers are anti. I think for a student, again, watch my English hacks video, it's just about how you use them. And then a nice little booklet. And King Lear, we did it in year 13, so we didn't do it in year 12, so it was a new text to us. So I did make this in year 13, and again you get the things for Spark Notes, the summary, the context, characters, etc, etc, and that's just to help myself refresh myself when I need to. And then this is just some classwork, some context. Again, we're doing drama, you need your context. And then again, this is just all from that booklet that I formed, and this is again from the York Notes book that my teacher photocopied these things in this context pack for us. But I would have had my own alternative sources of context and looked at journal articles. I swear you must be tired of that word now. But your characters, and guess what? I'm actually so sad because they are not here. It's all empty. And I'm guessing that I took these out to use them for revision come this time last year, or like near my exam date last year. So same with Streetcar though, same with prose. I would have had a character profile, and then you have your themes, motifs and symbols, again because it is a text, it's a dramatic text, and you have to look at dramatic functions. And yeah, all of these, you can see they're missing again. I would have taken them out to use them for my revision. But yeah, this is just one theme. And then again, your acts and scenes and important quotes. So I would have done this in classroom, I believe, just to gauge where the important quotes are. And then again, just a summary of everything via Spark Notes. And this is just very good to acquaint yourself with the storyline if it's a bit complex for you, because I know Shakespeare can be a bit mad, and if you're having to learn this in like 9 months. So yeah, this is a very good idea. And because Shakespeare, we had a 05, which I believe was critical analysis, so you had to include critical analysis as part of your exam. I would have had all my critics in here, and obviously, as you can see, it's missing because I would have taken it out to use it during exam season. But yeah, have a space for your critical analysis where you keep every critic's work, or you keep notes from different critics or different productions. That's it. With drama, look at me clapping, that means I'm serious. With drama, I think it will be so good for you. Like, when I say something like it's so good, that means I mean it will get you an A star. To mention alternative productions, because you have to remember that these are dramatic texts. This is my revision, it's not the folder, I know, But I just wanted to quickly say that if you're doing a piece of drama, you have to remember that they are dramatic texts, they are performed on stage or even adapted into movies. So you really do want to look at productions, because that's part of your critical analysis, and that will bump your grade up. Instead of just saying this critic says this about this, it's actually good to just say that, for example, with King Lear, in the 2008 Ian McKellen version of King Lear, Ian McKellen plays an ecclesiastical Lear whose wisdom is endorsed by the gods, is decrepit and worn out because of old age, whereas in the Sam Mendes National Theatre version, Lear is a Stalinesque tyrant and Ian Russell Bill plays him with the symptoms of dementia. You want to talk about productions, please talk about productions, please. That's my biggest tip. Because that counts as critical analysis, and you're just giving something alternative to the examiner, which they'll want to see, because everybody will just be regurgitating the same things from the anthology. Again, this is just the other section. As you can see, it's coded here. This is the other section where I just like kept scraps. But yeah, that is my drama folder, and I hope that you found that useful in getting organized. I wish you the very best of luck, and just hope that it helps you to get yourself together and to just get everything nice and tidy. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.